Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In our last class, we talked about the introduction to electromagnetic theory. That what is electromagnetic theory and why do we study this course in electrical engineering. Today, we will talk about the electromagnetic model. Electromagnetic modeling is actually the process of modeling the interaction of electromagnetic fields with physical objects and environment. An electromagnetic theory can be built on a suitably chosen electromagnetic model. Three essential steps are involved in this process, and these are the three steps. The first step involves the basic quantities of electromagnetics. The first step is to define the basic quantities of electromagnetics. The second step involves the rules of operation, that is the vector algebra, vector calculus and partial differential equations. Whereas the third step involves the fundamental postulates. Now what does this mean? Actually three essential steps are involved in building a theory on an idealized model. Like अगर हम circuit theory की मिसाल लें, so a familiar example is the circuit theory that is built on a circuit model of idealized sources and pair resistances, inductances and capacitances. So अगर हम सर्किट थ्योरी की एग्जांपल लें तो सर्किट थ्योरी को हम बिल्ड करते हैं सर्किट मॉडल पे, और इसी मॉडल में भी ये तीन स्टेप्स होंगे. लाइक व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप? द फर्स्ट स्टेप इज टू डिफाइन the basic quantities. So what are the basic quantities in the circuit model or in the circuit theory that is built on a circuit model? So in this case the basic quantities are voltages, currents, resistances, inductances and capacitances. Now what will be the second step that is involved in building circuit theory on a circuit model? So the second step involves the rules of operation, and the rules of operation in circuit theory are ordinary differential equations and Laplace transforms and those of algebra. So these are actually the rules of operation which are involved in building the circuit theory on a circuit model. Whereas the third step involves the fundamental postulates. So the fundamental postulates in building a circuit theory on a circuit model are the Kirchhoff's voltage law and current laws. So these are actually the three essential steps which are involved in building circuit theory on a circuit model. So similar as the case with electromagnetic theory, when we built electromagnetic theory on a suitably chosen electromagnetic model. So three essential steps will be involved in this process. The first step is to define the basic quantities of electromagnetics. The second step involves the rules of operation, and the rules of operation are vector algebra, vector calculus and partial differential equations. Whereas the third step involves the fundamental postulates. So let's discuss the first step. The quantities in our electromagnetic model can be roughly divided into two categories. We have the source quantities and we have the field quantities. There are two categories in our electromagnetic model. There are two quantities in our electromagnetic model. We have the source quantities and we have the field quantities. The source of an electromagnetic field is invariably electric charges at rest or in motion. You will know that when electric charges are at rest, they constitute the electric field. Whereas when electric charges are in motion, they constitute the current. I have already told you that the charge is actually the fundamental property of matter, just like mass. But unlike mass, charge comes in two flavors. The charge may be positive or may be negative, and the charge on an object will be the integral multiple of the charge on an electron. So हम ये कह सकते हैं कि जो smallest charge हम consider करते हैं, that is actually the charge on an electron. So what is actually the charge on an electron? The charge on an electron is actually equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulombs, whereas coulomb is actually the unit of charge. अब अगर हम coulomb की बात कर लें, so 1 coulomb of charge is really a very big amount. Like अगर हम 1 coulomb charge represent कर लें, so 1 coulomb of charge will be equal to 1 divided by 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 electrons. So how many electrons will be there in 1 coulomb of charge? So 1 coulomb of charge actually takes 6.25 million trillion of electrons. 1 coulomb of charge actually takes 6.25 million trillion of electrons. So this was all about the charge. Now, what is actually a current? A current is the time rate of change of charge, or the rate of change of charge with respect to time. When charges move, they constitute a current. So when we have the flow of current, or when we have the flow of charges, they will give rise to the magnetic field. So this was all about source quantities. Now there are 4 fundamental vector field quantities in electromagnetics. Like charge is the source quantity, so we have 4 fundamental vector field quantities in electromagnetics. And what are those field quantities? So those field quantities are the electric field intensity, electric flux density, magnetic flux density, and magnetic field intensity. So these are actually the 4 vector field quantities. And remember that in case of electric field, the electric field intensity and the electric flux density are related to each other, whereas in case of magnetic field, the magnetic flux density and the magnetic field intensity are related to each other. The definition and physical significance of these quantities will be explained fully when they are introduced later. At this time, we want only to establish the following. Like जब हम electrostatics discuss करते हैं free space में, like we will discuss electrostatics in either free space or in material media. तो जब हम electrostatics free space में discuss करते हैं, तो हम electric field intensity vector को consider करते हैं. Electric field intensity or the electric flux density or the magnetic field intensity or the magnetic flux density. These are actually the vector quantities. So जब हम electrostatics को free space में discuss करते हैं, तो हम electric field intensity vector लेते हैं. इसी तरह जब हम electrostatics को या जब हम electric field को material media में consider करते हैं, मतलब जब हम dielectrics consider करते हैं, तो फिर हम electric flux density consider करते हैं, electric flux density D. इसी तरह जब हम मैग्नेटिक फील्ड्स या जब हम मैग्नेटोस्टैटिक्स फ्री स्पेस में कंसीडर करते हैं, तो हम मैग्नेटिक फ्लक्स डेंसिटी वेक्टर कंसीडर करेंगे. और जब हम मैग्नेटिक फील्ड को मटेरियल मीडिया में डिस्कस करेंगे, सो हम मैग्नेटिक फील्ड इंटेंसिटी कंसीडर करेंगे. सो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इंटेंसिटी इज द ओनली वेक्टर नीडेड in discussing electrostatics in free space. And what is electrostatics? The effects of stationary electric charges. The effects of stationary electric charges when electric charges are at rest. Similarly, electric flux density is useful in the study of electric field in material media. And magnetic flux density is the only vector needed in discussing magnetostatics in free space. What is actually magnetostatics? Effects of steady electric currents. Here we were talking about the stationary electric charges, whereas in case of magnetostatics we will talk about the effects of steady electric currents. So magnetic flux density is the only vector needed in discussing magnetostatics in free space, and magnetic field intensity H or magnetic field strength is useful in the study of magnetic field in material media. So these are actually the four vector field quantities. Now there may be two cases. We may have the time varying situation, or we may have no time varying situation. It means that if the electric field intensity or the electric flux density is not changing, or if the electric field is not changing with respect to time, whereas and the magnetic field is not changing with respect to time. So when there is no time variation, the electric field quantities E and D and the magnetic field quantities B and H form two separate vector pairs. I am repeating it again. When there is no time variation, it means that when the electric and magnetic fields are not changing with respect to time, when there is no time variation, so the electric field quantities E and D, the electric field quantities E and D, and the magnetic field quantities B and H form two separate vector pairs. Whereas in time dependent cases, when the electric and magnetic fields are changing with respect to time, electric and magnetic field quantities are coupled. In time dependent cases, electric and magnetic field quantities are coupled. Now what does this coupling mean? It means that time varying electric field intensity and electric flux density will give rise to the magnetic flux density and the magnetic field intensity. Similarly, the time varying magnetic flux density and the magnetic field intensity will give rise to the electric field intensity and electric flux density. So when there is no time variation, when the electric and magnetic fields are not changing with respect to time, so the electric field intensity and electric flux density form a separate vector pair, and the magnetic flux density and magnetic field intensity form a separate vector pair. But in case of time variation, these quantities are coupled. These quantities are actually coupled. So we talked about the source quantities, we talked about the field quantities. Now we will talk about the universal constants in electromagnetics. Remember that there are three universal constants in electromagnetics. In our electromagnetic model, there are three universal constants in addition to the field quantities. Actually, they relate to the properties of the free space, and they are as follows. Now, what are those three constants? The first constant is the velocity of electromagnetic wave in free space, including light. C is actually the velocity of electromagnetic wave in this case. C also denotes the speed of light. So the velocity of electromagnetic wave in free space is denoted by C. Similarly, we have the permittivity of free space epsilon naught and the permeability of free space mu naught. Remember that the permittivity of free space is related to the electric field, whereas the permeability of free space mu naught is related to the magnetic field. Now, how can we define the permittivity and permeability? So, permittivity actually measures the resistance that is offered by the material in the formation of an electric field. As I told you that permittivity is related to the electric field, so it is actually the resistance that is offered by the material in the formation of electric field. मतलब जब इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड बन रहा होता है तो डाइलेक्ट्रिक मटेरियल या मटेरियल मीडियम जो रेजिस्टेंस ऑफर करता है, that resistance is actually measured by the permittivity of that material, whereas permeability is related to the magnetic field, and permeability is the ability of the material to allow the magnetic lines of force to pass through it. So permeability is the ability of the material to allow the magnetic lines of force to pass through it. So permittivity is actually the resistance that is offered by the material to the electric field, whereas permeability is the ability of the material to allow the magnetic lines of force to pass through it. So permittivity is represented by epsilon naught, permeability is represented by mu naught. Permittivity of free space. If we don't have the free space, or if we have any dielectric material, so the permittivity in that case is represented by epsilon. Whereas when we have a magnetic medium and when we consider the dielectrics, so in that case the permeability will be represented by mu. Now actually many experiments have been performed for the precise measurement of the velocity of electromagnetic wave or the speed of light. Now, and what will be the value of the permittivity of free space, and what will be the value of permeability of free space, mu naught. So the speed of light or the velocity of electromagnetic wave is approximately equal to 3 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. This is actually the speed of light or the velocity of electromagnetic wave. The permeability of free space mu naught is equal to 4 pi into 10 raised to power minus 7 Henry per meter. Similarly, the permittivity of free space epsilon naught is equal to 8.85 into 10 raised to power minus 12 Faraday per meter or farad per meter. So these are actually the three universal constants: the velocity of electromagnetic wave, the permeability of free space, and the permittivity of free space. Permeability of free space is related to the magnetic field, whereas permittivity of free space is related to the electric field. We can say that permeability is considered in inductance, whereas permittivity is considered in capacitance. So these are actually the three universal constants. In our next class, we will talk about the rules of operation, that is the vector algebra, vector calculus, and partial differential equations. If you have any question, please write them down. Thank you.